In the executive committee, present is Mr. Harding, president, myself, Mr. Lagarde, excuse me, the name just left me for a second. Ms. Lagarde is not present at this time. There was an examination of invoices for the current month, including the supplemental payroll and travel expenses. Are there any committee member concerns?
No, ma'am.
All right, I don't have any concerns at all. Anything you'd like to add?
No.
Okay. Any public comment? Do I have a motion to accept invoices?
Yeah, motion to accept.
And second. Do I have public comment? Mr. Harding, any comment? Any other board members? Any objections? None heard, so ordered. Any other business, Mr. Harding?
No, ma'am.
Therefore, we're going to have a motion to adjourn, please.
So moved.
And second. Any objections? So moved.
I know. We could have got them all in one day.
I'd like to call the Building, Food Service, and Transportation Committee meeting. I would like it to end as quickly as Ms. Maybell's one was. All right. All right, so please note that myself as chair, Mr. DeHart is vice chair, Mr. Harding also all present committee members. All other board members are present with the exception of Mr. Lagarde. The superintendent and staff members are also present. Excuse me. Number 2, matter bearing upon presenting potential hurricane recovery options for Grand Caillou Elementary School will be done at the November 15, 2022 Buildings, Food Service, and Transportation Committee meeting. This is just an informational. Mr. Ogeron, would you like to share anything?
Sure. There's nothing specific going to be presented tonight, but like you said in the information item, it's going to be brought to the November 15th committee meeting, and we'll have options to discuss and potential recommendation that night.
Okay.
That'll move forward to the board meeting in December.
Okay, appreciate it, Mr. Ogeron. Number 3, matter bearing upon potential plan for Oaklawn Middle School, Mr. Harding.
Yeah, thank you, Mr. Vice. Speaking with the superintendent, again, I would like to refer this to the November 15 meeting. I think there wasn't enough time to gather the information that needs to be gathered on this certain issue. At that particular time, we have hopefully a lengthy discussion on Oaklawn Middle School.
Thank you, Mr. Harding. So we're going to refer that to November 15th. Thank you. Number 4, consideration of approval for a right-of-way at Mulberry Elementary School. The committee recommends that the board approve and authorize the superintendent and staff to investigate a possible right-of-way at Mulberry Elementary School for BK Enterprise of the South LLC. Do I have a motion?
I don't have any discussion. We got an opinion tonight, so if the superintendent wants to speak on it, that's up to him.
Okay, so
I'm
no
beating a
motion.
dead horse.
Okay.
Well, I would like to make the motion to accept the opinion of the attorney that was presented to us tonight.
Motion to accept the opinion of the attorney. We all received a legal opinion from our attorney, Duval, and I think the findings were that was recommended that we do not find it advisable to grant any sort of right-of-way or lease of TPSB property. So I think we're all in agreement with that. Any there's no motion, so any comments? Mr. Ford?
Just to clarify, that it was deliberately stated TPSB property that is being utilized for educational purposes. So I just want to make sure that's stated and clear.
Okay.
So, yep, thank you.
All right. Any other board members? Mr. DeHart?
Well, I know our attorney, we should always follow the advice of our attorney, but in this matter, I don't think they researched it enough because we have so many properties that's being utilized. And I'm not trying to just say, different circumstances, but they got people using places right now. We don't know who's using. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. DeHart. Any other board members? Mr. Ford?
So on that note, if there were a property that's being used by Terrebonne Parish for educational purposes, such as a school ground, then we may need to go back and re-examine that as per our guidance.
Right.
Yep,
Okay.
thank you.
So if there is any, we need to know that. Any other board members? So this motion fails. Number 5.
Hold on, I made the motion to.
Oh, I'm sorry.
I made the motion to accept the recommendation of the attorney.
Okay,
Do
so
we
we're
have a second?
changing it.
Yeah, I think he seconded.
Okay. Yeah.
He seconded.
Yeah.
And that's when I think he went around the table. Now you gotta ask anybody in the
I did.
audience. They want-
So, all right, so the motion right now is to accept the recommendation from our attorney on this matter. It's been seconded by me. Any public comments? Mr. Harding, anything else? None from myself. Any other board members? Okay. Any objections? One objection, Mr. DeHart. Motion passes. All right, number 5. Consideration of approval for acceptance of a request for qualifications of mechanical engineering services. The committee recommends that the board accept and approve the proposal meeting all specifications for mechanical engineering services, establishing a pool of engineers to include the engineering firms listed below for the district-wide HVAC replacement upgrade project to be funded through the Coronavirus Response and Relief Supplement Appropriations Act, CRRSA, ESSER 3, and further authorize the board president to sign all necessary documents pertaining thereto, and a list of those engineers are provided for you there.
So move.
Move Mr. Harding. Second myself. Any public comments? Mr. Harding?
No.
I don't have a comment. Any other, Mr. DeHart?
I'd like to ask Ms. Klingman to come forward, please. I'm just trying to get educated, Ms. Klingman, so maybe you can help me. The ESSA 3 funding, what was the receipt? Why did we receive that? Is it through COVID and stuff like
Yes,
the other
sir.
stuff?
Yes,
I just
sir.
want to verify because there's different ESSA accounts. We do an air conditioning, we're doing,
Windows.
And now this here, so I just want to make certain.
Yes, sir, there were 3 different
fine.
appropriations,
Thank
ESSER
God-
1,
thank God
ESSER
we got
2,
that.
and ESSER
Yes.
3.
Thank you.
Yes, sir.
Appreciate it. Thank you. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
You're welcome. Mr. Ford?
Ms. Klingman, hold on a second. So when it says we're asking for a request for qualifications, so is this logistical, say for instance, how many employees they have, what size jobs can they handle, or is this, do they have certain engineers with certain certifications? If you could, just a brief synopsis of what a request for qualifications means.
I'm honestly not familiar with the request for qualifications. That's not finance. Yeah.
Oh, she didn't get up. She said a thing, so that's why I asked her.
There's different criteria that we use, and these are actually the only proposals submitted. We check the qualifications of all 7, and we're accepting all 7 proposals. We request resumes, their certifications, their work plan, how they approach each project, whether or not they have experience with federal grants, because we don't necessarily want to select a company who has no experience with these federal grants, because they require different things such as David's Bacon compliance and different federal requirements.
So with these, we're allowed to be a little more subjective because it's a quality of work and
Yes, we can't, on a request for qualifications, we can't ask for pricing. They use the state fee curve for their engineering services, so it's strictly qualifications.
okay, thank you.
You're welcome.
Thank you, Mr. Ford. Mr.
Ms.
DeHart.
Alley, I have a question for you, please. There's no more local engineers available?
We do have, our second option is in Homa. We have one in Thibodeau. These are just the only ones that have submitted proposals.
Okay, that's what I want to know, like the proposal.
Yes.
Because sometimes they overloaded and they don't apply. I just want
Absolutely.
to make certain we at least pursue that.
Mhm.
That's why I asked the question. Thank you.
Absolutely, it's open to everyone. It's advertised in the newspaper, advertised online.
But you
this and
can't
that.
advertise in newspaper, hardly no circulation.
Absolutely.
Thank you.
I'll just
And
say
any
it.
other board members have a question? Any objections? Hearing none, motion passes. Thank you, Ms. Alley.
I'm on the next one
Oh,
too.
the next one?
I'll just stay.
Okay, how about that?
Just in case.
All right, number 6. The committee recommends that the board accept and approve the proposal meeting all specifications for environmental consulting services from Ritter Consulting Engineers, 2014 West Pinhook Road, Suite 200, Lafayette, Louisiana, 70508, for a period of 3 years from December 1st, 2022 to November 30th, 2025, with the option to renew the contract in 1-year increments under the same terms and conditions, and further authorize the board president to sign all necessary documents pertaining thereto. So move, Mr. Harding. Second, myself. Any public comments? Mr. Harding?
No.
I don't have anything. Any other board members? Yes, Ms. Benoit.
Just would like to know what type of environmental services.
This is for our re-inspections. We have a 3-year re-inspection. It's for like asbestos and mold, lead paint. We have 6-month inspections, and they're going to update the books that are at each school and at the maintenance department.
So this is for all schools then?
This is for all schools.
Okay.
Right now, we currently have a contract with Mr. Ritter for hurricane services and any asbestos abatement and stuff related to the hurricane. And our regular, I guess, contract, non-hurricane related, is also expiring at the same time as his. So this will encompass everything that's hurricane related and non-hurricane related.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Thank you, Ms. Benoit. Mr. Ford?
So the renewal option, is that with a price increase or stays the same or?
It's if we have to, it's a mutual agreement, so if they go up on prices, we can advertise the bid again. But if
Okay.
they're willing to honor the prices and the terms, we can renew as long as we'd like.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome.
Any other board members? Any objections? Hearing none, motion passes. Number 7, the committee recommends that the board approve and issue a notice to proceed as per contractual agreement to Sheremy and Bruce Architects, APC, for plans and specifications for building repairs at the School of Exceptional Children, funds to be derived from FEMA, reimbursement funds, authorize the advertising of bids, direct that any major project changes be reported to the BFT and prior to advertising for bids, and further authorize the board president to sign all necessary documents pertaining thereto. So move, Mr. DeHart. Second, Mr. Harding. Any public comments? Mr. DeHart? Mr. Harding? Any other board members? Mr. Ford?
So just to be clear, if this goes through, notice to proceed, we're gonna rebuild or repair on property where it's at right now, correct? Because last I remember, that decision hadn't been made yet. So tonight, that decision's been made. If we move forward, it's gonna be rebuilt. Okay, sounds good. Outstanding, thank you.
Good. All right. Any other board members? Any objections? Hearing none, motion passes. The rest are informational. So number 8, matter bearing upon update of Hurricane Ida response, Mr. Ryan Smith. Or the other guy. Mr. Marco.
I swear one day, Dan, I'm gonna have a shirt that says that. Do I need to do something? Yeah. Okay, well, good evening, everybody. Mr. Chair, I will be quick today, so I know you.
All right.
I can't do it as quickly as the executive did.
I know.
So this month, most of what I've got to really share are just some updates. As I mentioned last month, and we went over a schedule, which was basically that. I don't have another copy for it because I already kind of handed it out. I really haven't changed anything on it. It was more to kind of, I mentioned too that we're going to have some jobs that are coming out for bid. So I wanted to go over a few of those with you so you know what they are, because there are a handful of them that we have coming out in the next couple of weeks, or even as of today. So today, we actually took bids on Southdown Elementary, and on Thursday, we'll be taking bids on the roof at Homa Junior High. So the plan is, we are in the process of reviewing those bids, making sure that we get all the information and stuff we need, and your board meeting on the 1st, we'll have an agenda item on there that we'll ask Ms. Bro to put on there to go and ask for approval of those bids. So we also have 2 bids on November the 9th, is the roof at Legion Park, and at Acadian, they'll be that day as well. So those are bid dates that I know that we have coming up pretty soon. We do have design work being done on Evergreen. So one of the things that Mr. Orgeron and I have been communicating on that, well, you know, it was a request to go ahead and push to try to get some of those front classrooms done. So in fact, DEG has been working with us to go with the fire marshal to get, you know, when you go in a building and you're only going to take half of it because the other part is going to have construction, you got to get the fire marshal to buy off on what your plan's going to be. And so we've been in a couple of iterations back and forth, so I think we're pretty close, and a conversation with agreement with DDG earlier this afternoon seemed like pretty positive. They're going to allow that, which should be able to give you 4 to 6, 7 classrooms up in that front part, you know, depending on the final iteration. So so as soon as we get that from the fire marshal, DDG will go and they'll put together a set of bid documents so we can get that out pretty quickly out and get that bid, because I know that that's a pressing issue there at that school. We'll also have roof drawings on that project, on that school, coming up here pretty soon too. I think they've already been submitted into Paul. Paul's been reviewing, going back and forth with DG on them. So I'm anticipating those ready to be able to post and bid on here in the next week or two. The other one would be Ellender. We do have, at the last meeting I mentioned to you, there's 3 different bid packages that are fixing to come out on Ellender. One of them is kind of the interior, some more interior demolition and stuff for remediation that needs to get done. The second one was to stabilize the building, basically put something on the roof and it's around the building to keep water from coming in the building. It's 2 separate packages. We are anticipating having those this week from the architect so we can review. The other one would be the ball fields over there. So I think that we should, I know we should have that one here this week as well, so we can put something together and get that out as well, because I know the pressing need to get the ball fields going over there. I know Ryan and I went there last week and we walked them, take a look at them. We walked tennis courts and everything. So so just a kind of a low last thing to look at before we, you know, while he's been having conversations with Craig Abear on those. So, and other than that, that's kind of the big updates for y'all. I'm happy to answer any questions you may have.
Mr. Ford.
Yes, sir.
Regarding Evergreen at 400 Hall, so there's a lot of ceiling tiles on that whole hall, and I know the plan is to wall off that back section where the roof was damaged.
Yes, sir.
Are they going to replace the ceiling tiles on that section that they're going to be utilizing?
We'll have to replace a few. I don't know the full extent of what the scope is in there, but I do know some of that will be replaced. We also have to look where DDG has their architectural stuff done on it, and I know we're going to have some HVAC and electrical stuff being done in there as well, and they're currently working on. That's what they're waiting on to finish up the full set of drawings. But there will be some of that will have to get done in that front part to get it.
So I know it's a
good
little
for students.
premature, but just an estimated date. I'm not going to hold you to anything, but would that be when we come
You
back
heard,
from
you
Christmas?
heard that, Grant. He's not going to hold you to it. To get that out for bid.
No, I'm talking about the completion. So when
Okay,
come
so
back
if
from
we
Christmas-
get everything within 2 weeks, say, I forget what day, which day today? 18th, okay. You think by the 31st you'll have drawings? So if you get it by the 31st, we're able to bid it, put it out in November. By the end of November, beginning of December, we'll have a contractor, and then we can go ahead and get started. And the construction on it is probably, a lot of it depends if we're gonna have to replace, I haven't seen the design yet for the mechanical. If we gotta go replace some units, and we're kind of at the mercy of what that's gonna be in the market. The rest of the stuff, it's really up to materials. I mean, it's about two or so months worth of work in there.
Okay.
But, again, some of these mechanical units, and even the condensing, I mean, I had a project where the condensing units took months to come in, when it's just a simple train, 5-ton unit, you know, so. But that, I mean, I hope that kind of gives you a little bit of an idea. I know it doesn't give you an exact end date, because there's some variables in there. I just don't know where we stand on them yet until I see the full design.
Okay, thank you.
Yes, sir.
Any other board members? So which schools are we gonna start seeing something happen, you know, as far as construction? I mean,
You see some on South, well, when we
Like,
come to you on the
when?
first, well, we'll come to you on the first for approval.
okay,
And then, in the meantime, we're gonna work on starting to get their contracts and all that stuff to you, but, you know, if we don't have the contract just ready for you right on the first, we'll get it such where Mr. Harding can come in and sign it at some point, as long as the board has approved it. And then we'll be starting, that month, that month, we should be able
someone
to
will
get
be on
started.
site getting started at certain
Yes.
schools.
And, I'm sorry? It was South Homa, was ours. Well, Grand Caillou,
Must be for,
but yeah, we'll have something there going on there, yes.
Okay.
So in the month of November, you should start seeing some
start seeing
construction going on there.
construction. Okay, that's gonna be
Mhm.
good. All right. Any,
So, yes. Homa Junior, yeah, because, Homa Junior High and South Downs are both going to be coming to the board on the same day for approval, because we're getting those bids in on Thursday.
And as
So on
long
the
as
first,
it's
we'll have
approved,
those, and we
they'll
should be
get
able to get some
started.
work
The next
started.
day, they're
And
gonna
I
be
know
with their
South
hand.
Downs is a big one, because it's right there. Now, I will tell you this, you know, those are, you know, if you got metal panels or anything like that that are going to be on the outside of that, some of those things may take a little bit of time. But, you know, you could get a fence around, you could get a contractor out there, you know, you could put a sign up front that shows work, you know, work being done, even though some of the things may be waiting on some materials.
okay, good. We're excited. We can't wait. All right,
We
any
are
other-
too, actually.
Yeah, it's time. Any other board members? Thank you, Mr. Marco.
Thank you all.
So, Mr. Ryan Smith, you good? All right, okay. Number 9, matter bearing upon update of Hurricane Ida. Mr. Curtis Lee.
Can I make a quick comment?
Yes, sir.
For the public that, y'all were looking at that chart, it's on our website under Hurricane Ida. You can look at it and find it there. They have both this company's and Marco's company's charts.
Good evening, committee members. Okay, good evening again. I'm going to give a rundown through each school, and it'll kind of give you guys a brief synopsis of where we are. And then again, just like with Volker, you guys can ask us any questions. This is the chart that you guys are familiar with from the previous month. And so starting here, try to make it as large as possible so that everybody can see it, and bear with me, we may have to scroll a little bit back and forth. In the green column for where we are right now, having started in our third quarter of this year and ending in our fourth quarter, we're at 60% design as of today. Some of these designs that you guys are going to see are going to have some significant changes by the next committee meeting, but this is of this week's data. We anticipate to go to bid for the first quarter of 2023, and then the blue shows us what our construction anticipation start and end date is. Moving to our far right, this is just a general scope to let you guys know if this is including roof packages, exterior work, interior work, and for those schools that have any athletic facilities or outlying buildings. We have a pre-bid walk date / and/or our first bid announcement date. So some schools, we have a pre-bid walk on them. Some of them, obviously, we're working with Ally, and we have just the announcement dates. So with that being said, we have some updates that you guys will be excited about, and again, there will be quite a few more that we're anticipating coming in the next 30 to 60 days. Broadmoor Elementary, 25%. Dularge, 30%. The Fletcher facility, right now, we have a roofing package on that one that is complete. And we should be going to bid on that one as it shows here on our chart to put that roof on. And then we will move forward with the interior package once we have the building envelope sealed. Grand Caillou, it's on hold, as we all are aware of, until we get a little bit further direction. Grand Caillou Middle is 100%, and we have had, as of today, the bid opening with 3 bids to evaluate, which is what you were speaking to, and we'll be coming to Ms. Becky for a notice to proceed once we work with our architects to evaluate those bids. And this will be one of the very first ones to go to construction. HL, 75%. Lisa Park, we're just getting started on that one, scratching the surface. Lewis Miller, the Votech school is a little bit complicated, but we are at 90% on some of the buildings, and of course Votech is broken up between buildings A through P. Most of the work is in building M, and then of course there's the roof repairs that we're referring to here, which I believe is in building C and K. Montague, 90%. Oaklawn Middle, and Montague is 0, and Montague Middle is 0. Oaklawn Middle is at 90%, and Oakshire is also at 0 on the design. However, on the roof package, we are progressing well on that, and it's highlighted here. We anticipate a November 15th bid announcement for the roof package for that particular school. So that's why that one is highlighted in that manner. Old DeLarge, Pointe-au-Chien, and SCC, those are still on hold. We also had, which I'll skip down to, for last month, we had Terrebonne Building, Annex Building, which was on hold, but it is no longer on hold. We've gotten direction on that, and we know what we plan on doing with that school, so we're going to be moving forward with the design. South Terrebonne High, that design is at 60%. However, it is also another one with some complexity. So where we have at this school some roof packages that are going to be going out, and the new gym we're anticipating at November 30th. The main building we're anticipating January 25th of 2023. And we should have construction drawings finished hopefully by the end of the month for the baseball facility, so that we can go forward with bidding on that for the following month to have the baseball complex finished by January of 2023, so that those students can use that facility there on the location. And then the remaining remaining facilities are Terrebonne Maintenance, which is 30%, the Terrebonne School Board Office, 30%, and then Transportation, which is 30%, and they all consist of some very minor to moderate repairs between roofing, exterior and interior.
So when you mention all these dates and stuff, you're talking the percentages, you're not talking construction actually starting.
So.
Like when you say South Terrebonne new gym, because I was gonna bring that up, because again, our, that side of town, there are no gyms. And I know education is the most important, and that's what we're all about, but we need facilities for these people to play. I mean, I say no gyms, there's 2 or 3 of them, but every school is trying to get in these gyms. And these schools, these coaches are getting frustrated because they cannot get practice time and game time. So, I mean, to be specific with ST Gym, you said November 30th. What are you talking about there? I'm sorry.
Yes, sir, no problem. So the clarification, we've referenced in the past DD and CD, and so these are construction drawings where we can actually put a package out and we can have things ready for a contractor to bid on. So the percentages in the green are referencing where we are in our construction drawings. Okay? And then when we're referring to specific to that school, our architect is doing a couple different roofing packages. What I think we refer to as the new gym where athletics was held, that is a roofing package. The main building actually has a roofing package as well. And so the new gym roofing package is that November anticipated date for completion of the design.
Of the design.
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Shortly thereafter, we'll go out to bid.
We will go out to bid. So as we are finishing our designs, we're getting with purchasing and procurement, and we're going out immediately to our bid with our announcements so that we can have a fast turnaround, which is how we're forecasting, and I'm sorry for the glare on the screen, how we're forecasting what we anticipate to be the start of construction.
And if we're looking for this 23-24 school year completion of that, or at least 2024 for that season, like the next season would be probably supposed to be ready.
So specifically
Yeah.
yes.
So by the summer of 23 possible, is that what we're saying? The new gym?
Next school year sometime.
We're talking, that's only about, what, 8 months away?
As of current, for that type of roofing system, we still have a very long lead time. If the market and the industry improves, then that will be expedited. But the longest delay, unfortunately, that's out of our control and the contractor's control, is that specific material for that roof.
And correct me if I'm wrong, there's
And-
also some wall that collapsed wall, I think it's all tied into the job.
That's, yeah.
Yes, sir. So that is going to put us into the latter part of that summer, maybe the beginning of the school year for 2023 fall.
Yeah. Okay. Hopefully we have basketball there in 23. Yeah.
Any questions?
Mr. Ford?
Not really a question, but maybe a comment, and you can
Yes, sir.
reinforce it. Not to be a buzzkill or anything, but Florida just went through a major hurricane, and now they're gonna be seeking all the same materials that we are. So I anticipate, I'm sure you guys anticipate some additional delays in procurement of those materials. Can you speak to that? Am I on track?
Yes, sir. So, not as of since Hurricane Ian, but we did look at earlier sourcing materials outside of this area within the state, and I've checked as far as, at least with HGI, as far as the Houston market to see if we could get some things, and that may still be the direction that we go with our architects to try to source materials from the west side. There are some people in the Baton Rouge market that had some quantities of materials about 3 or 4 weeks ago that we were looking at aspects of, once we have a design and a contractor, maybe trying to procure large amounts. So we're kind of looking at different options to see if we can grab things early on and hold those things once we know for sure that's what we're going to use before the market does pull on it from various places.
So my follow-up question is this: should we, as a board, anticipate higher costs estimates and a higher degree of, overall costs for these projects due to that?
Very good thinking. I'm following your logic. at today, I'm not prepared to say yes to that. That could be the case depending on what demand that puts on the distributors and the suppliers. But right now, I couldn't give you an affirmative yes.
Okay, thank you.
Mr. Harding?
Yeah, to reiterate about those gyms, I think, you know, and actually me with the recreation department, I guess we getting the brunt of it because we're trying to accommodate a lot of these schools, and I'm telling you, it is tight.
It is.
I mean, it is really jam tight, you know, trying to accommodate these schools. And I think that hopefully by maybe the basketball, volleyball season next year, that we can possibly, you know, get that going, you know. My other thought is that I hope and pray that what happened in Florida do not put us behind in getting our supplies. Hopefully we are ahead of that curve, and they're going through the pain that we're going through now, and that they're behind us and they don't jump frog us, and then we get stuck out and they jump frog us. I mean, what is the possibility that may happen? You assume they have to go through the same procedures that we're going through now with FEMA and everybody else.
They do, and again, this is just going to be my assumption, but if we look at the hardest hit areas of Florida, they have total losses. So they're not going to necessarily be repairing as many facilities as they're going to be probably demoing and building back from the ground up at different codes and standards. So I would hope that by the time their area is pulling on our, you know, national suppliers, that we're way ahead of the curve. I think, you know, from what we see on the news, it's going to be months and months of just debris cleaning and sorting out before they would even be ready to consider designing and rebuild.
Okay.
Just my assumption.
Okay, no, that was my concern because, I mean, you know, supplies is hard to come by now. You know, I think we all experienced it when hurricane hit us. I mean, you know, everybody was scrambling to get supplies, you know, and it was hard to get it, so.
Yes, sir. Valid
Okay.
point. And we'll keep those things in consideration.
Okay, thank you.
Yes, sir.
Mr. Legard?
Do y'all have the main power when y'all get the supplies? Do you think y'all gonna have a problem having the main power to operate?
So in our function, we're looking at directing more so the installers and the contractors and working with our architects to procure that and warehousing it in this area so that those resources can be here when we get to that step.
Okay, now with that said, still didn't answer my question, but are y'all bidding on any of them jobs in Florida? I guess it's not our business, but do y'all go outside of, you know, y'all gonna bid on any of those jobs?
So to go back to your first question, I may have misunderstood when you asked about manpower, and I was speaking more to our scope, but that was the reason that I followed with the statement that I made in terms of looking at any options in Florida right now. My personal focus, and Scott, is on Terrebonne Parish. What the organization is doing outside of that, honestly, they haven't announced or looked at anything here, but we're busy with enough work in Louisiana market that I don't see us going there at the moment. So this is our focus.
Thank you, Mr. Legard. Can we get that commitment from you too, Marco? I was thinking of that.
HGI will be here. You want my commitment on that? I'm just kidding. No, our crew that's here works solely in Louisiana.
Okay.
So we do have program management works throughout different parts of the country. But the crew that we have here is in a special area that is, we
Gonna
deal
stay
with work
here.
here.
Yep.
So these guys that you see here, they're not going over to Florida stuff and doing anything. Now, to address some of the things about material, I'll just kind of go off on a little bit on stuff, because that is a tough question. I mean, and Curtis to sit there and tell you that he knows what the market's going to be, that's an impossibility right now. What we have been seeing is that some pricing as far as bids seems to be somewhat plateauing, with a couple of things here just shooting up out of the, you know, it'll be the oddest things that all of a sudden just jump up in price, okay? Now, when I'm telling you it's plateauing at a high level, okay? So the question was, are we going to see inflated prices? The answer will be most probably yes. The pricing that we saw in 2019 of, you know, Mr. Orgeron and I were just talking about this earlier this afternoon, where we used to program buildings at $200 a foot. Those days are gone. Okay? I mean, they may come back at one point, but they're not, it's not going to be anytime soon. So you have material issues too. I mean, right now you're sitting here with a lot of roofing work going on. There's going to be roofing work in Florida. We all know it. Okay? We're trying to get out as quick. It's one of the reasons why when we had our architect meeting today, we're like, we need to get these estimates complete. We have a lot of estimates kind of going back. We got to get them done. We got to get PWs down. We got to get work going. One of the reasons is we want to get ahead of that curve. Okay, they're going to have a curve. They're going to have a waiting time that they're going to have to go through. The Walmarts of the world are going to just throw money at it. They're going to go fix it. We can't do anything about that. Now, that's material. Mr. Lagarde asked about labor. And it may have been about labor about just us, but I'll talk about labor in the general market. Labor in the general market isn't getting any better in the construction business. It's not like all of a sudden everybody who was out of COVID was having issues with that. Now, we're still dealing with that. And that's just that's an issue we're having to deal with every single day. So. We have a process for that, Mr. Harding, and I'm happy to. But I'll move your resume up to the top of the line. Huh? Yeah, I know. I know. I'm going to put them on all our gym projects. I'm sorry, Kurt.
No, thank you, Marco. I just hope fuel doesn't continue to go up to $5 a gallon, because
Mr.
that will
Ford?
have an impact on the delivery.
So, I know, Mr. Curtis, you may not want to answer this, but Marco brought it up. The $200 a square foot is a thing of the past, and I brought this up last month at committee and at board meeting. One thing to keep in mind, and I know people don't like it when I say this, but when we're looking at rebuilding where some of these schools are, because of the federal regulations now, we're looking at an estimated cost increase of 40% just for elevation purposes. So, as I mentioned last month, if we're looking at $200 a square foot, an additional 40% would be $280 a square foot if we had to elevate. If we're looking at an increase in costs, let's say, being conservative, $250 a square foot, then we're looking at a cost with elevation of $350 per square foot. So these are numbers that really do, they're important, and that's something that the community and people of this board need to understand. Now, if you need me to break the math down for you a little bit better, I can do that, but, I mean, to me, it's real simple math, but that's the reality that we're facing right now. So, that's just something we need to consider, and we need the community to understand, because, a lot of times their expectation is a lot different than what the reality is, and we face that every day in education. So, I just want to make that known. If you need me to write those numbers down for you, people from the Courier or whoever, I will. It's real simple math, but trust me, I know what I'm talking about when it comes to numbers. Thank
Yes,
you.
sir.
Okay, Dr.
Very-
Trahan?
Back to the labor and the workforce to get the work done. I've had a few calls in my residence from local vendors and local contractors that are interested in getting in. I want to make sure we're still doing outreach to the local people in the area, so and get as much of these people involved in the repair work as well. Now, as I directed them to get in touch with purchasing and with finance to get the specifications of whatever is needed as far as insurance and licensure and all of this stuff, to make sure they have all that in line. But I just want to make sure that we are reaching out to our local people to get that work done if we can.
Yes, ma'am. And my final comment to a few comments that was up here about the last few questions. The good thing is the large percentage of our schools, the design and the construction drawings will be complete before the year is in and out. So we'll be able to bid some things and go into knowing for sure what that workforce is going to look like for the first of the year.
All right, thank you, sir. Appreciate it.
Dr. Training, we are looking also to have another, in conjunction with HCI, another meeting with the contractors like we did earlier in the summer, where, we had mentioned that we didn't have a lot of attendance that one. we wanted to have another one. We wanted to kind of wait until we had some bids coming out, which is coming to that point. So we have already been having some conversations.
I was told by the
about trying to
people
do
that called me that they didn't see that advertisement, so I don't know how we would, and I know you put it out.
Yes, ma'am.
I don't know what media we'd have to use to make sure it gets out to everybody.
We're gonna try to get
But if, you
some-
know, they told me that they had not seen that opportunity, so that otherwise they would have been there.
Okay, and that's a great point. We're looking at trying to find other avenues to do that. I think Ally's also been taking names of, people that are coming to pre-bid meetings and stuff like that, so a lot of it gets word of mouth. I mean, the two gentlemen that were here, they had one gentleman here who called another one, and that's the other one that showed up. The phone works, or text, or whatever, so it does work once in a while, but we do understand that, and that's why Ally had kind of the foresight, let's go, are keeping these names down so we can do that in the future.
Yes, Ms. Benoit.
Thank you, Mr. Voisin. As a follow-up to what Mr. Ford has just brought up, I guess my question would be, for FEMA, and I don't know who would answer this, do they give us a replacement value of the building? And are they taking into consideration the inflation cost of what we're dealing with? Or is it just flat insurance and that's,
Yeah,
it's Adam's
Yeah,
question.
Adam, could you come
Yeah.
up, please?
Thank you, Adam.
So the replacement value, when you were talking about coming up, deciding if it is over 50, is put together by the architects and the consultants. If it is replaced and over the 50, FEMA pays 90% no matter what the cost is. So even if we say if it's a $5 million calculation, but it comes out being $8 million, by the time it's constructed, FEMA will pay 90% of that $8 million.
Okay.
So they just pay whatever actual cost is, but then the 90% cost share.
Okay, that's good to know.
That's good to
Thank
know,
you.
but our 10% is also going to still be
Yeah.
high.
Yeah.
But we appreciate that information.
Yeah, the 10% could be.
It's going to increase.
High, but still, this
Right.
is good. I mean, if they just did replacement and yet based on the existing building,
Yep.
then that
I
would be a
agree.
real problem.
Yep, good. Any other questions on those matters? Okay, going to number 10, matter bearing upon maintenance updates, Mr. Poisson.
Good evening, everybody. On the projects we have in progress, we had weekly meetings with the project managers on hurricane repairs. We had lighting for the faculty and student parking at South Terrebonne and Ellender for safety reasons. I mean, they show up to school in the mornings and it was dark, so we got that all lit up and that worked real good. We repurposed the AC unit from Upper Little Caillou. We kept the life in it and we moved it to LaCache, and it served the purpose down there for the cafeteria.
Awesome.
We installed temporary fencing at SEC. Attended pre-bid meetings at Grand Caillou Elementary, Southdown for hurricane repairs. We follow up and site visits at Ellender, Berg, Broadmoor, and other sites with ongoing hurricane recovery projects. We scheduled repairs to the Bayou Cane Adult Ed. We're going to try to do that probably in-house, try to get something showing getting done. We're going to handle that through my department. Went to Acadian to survey the fencing. We're looking at safety reasons there to try to do some more fencing there at the school to try to close it off. And we had a parent, I believe, that had added some fencing already, which was good, but we're going to have to do something else to, the buildings are so spread apart to where we can secure it and they can change classes. And we had, 400 and, can't see it, 403 work orders came in last month. I mean, they're still pouring in.
Well, we definitely appreciate everything your department is doing. I know it's nonstop. And What, you getting about 4 hours of sleep a night? A good night?
Yeah, it's getting
Yeah,
better.
I know there's a lot to be done, and y'all are reaching out and doing so much, and anytime I give you a call, I know y'all on top of things, so I appreciate it. I'm sure the rest of the board does as well. Mr. Ford.
I just have a question about fencing. So we have a lot of fencing projects that's been going on around the district because of the security issues and upping up the security. Do we have guys that work for us that are able to do this fencing, or are we gonna have to contract a lot of that?
It's going to be contracted out. It's going to be a major project. We have, like you said, we have so much around the district, but it will be contracted out.
Okay, thank you.
Mr. Lagarde.
As far as cameras to set up out there, I don't know. It's coming.
So you said they're not catching the kids. They gotta catch those kids, is what you're saying, yeah.
Well, we got 7 quotes, 7 companies turned in quotes. We just, not all these, hardly any of these companies on contract. And to get reimbursed from FEMA guidelines and all, they need to be on contract. So it ranges widely, anywhere from $22,000 to $98,000 per site on the quotes. So we're waiting to hear back from 2 companies that are getting on contract. If they get on contract, then that makes it easy. On state contract and tips, we have 2 of them that's tips contracts are pending. If they get on tips, they're already set up with tips, but they don't have their tips number yet. As soon as that hits, that makes it a lot easier. But we've got the things lined up. It's just a matter of getting on contract and the legality of the paperwork. As our purchasing agent there, I'm following her rules, her direction. But we've got 7 companies quoting. Really good equipment, real nice. It covers the sites well. And that's kind of an adoption. We want to, not just those 2 sites, but look for something better in the future as we adapt other sites. And whatever we put in Ellender, when we go to the main school, back to the main building, we want to bring that with us. We don't want to start over. That's going to be there hopefully only 2 years, and we still salvage that and bring it with us. So it's yeah, it's the cameras help discourage that kind of activity, because they see the cameras watching them, they assume that they're going to get caught. So, it's in process, it's close. And it takes a month to get people to send the quotes in now. So I've done walkthroughs with some other companies, and they still hadn't replied. So all right.
I know we had some issues with that at ST. Every principal probably had some of those issues. Cameras do help, but there's some other little things that we did, so maybe I can talk to Mr. Pellegrin about it. It can help catch those kids. So, because I remember one technique we used to use, I'm not going to say it right now. Can't give it to them. Yeah, right. Yeah, they'll get away with what they can. Dr. Trahan.
Just one reminder, the chain fencing at Oaklawn. that we discussed. To keep that on your list as well.
It is.
Thank you.
You doing the fence or the
Ms. Benoit.
No, contracts.
Yeah. Thank you, Mr. Voisin. Ms. Poinson, I don't know if you can answer this, but I don't see this on the list, but I pass by Andrew Price every day going to work, and it looks like there's something going on there, construction or
Where?
repair at Andrew Price.
The only thing I think they're just running some kind of utilities in front of it is,
Oh, so it has nothing
I
to do with
passed,
the
I passed
school
by there
board?
today and I saw them there too. It's
Yeah,
not with the
there's
school board.
stuff there going on, I
Yeah.
just didn't know what it was.
I think it's something with the state or somebody's running utilities.
Okay, so it's not us doing
No.
anything to the building or anything, okay.
So that,
Thank you.
I'm glad you brought that up because it reminded me, I pass there every morning also on the way to work, about 5:30 in the morning, and there's somebody in the gym there. So does that gym belong to us or is
No.
that recreation?
No, it's
Okay,
recreation.
I meant to ask
Yeah.
that. I'm glad you brought it up. Thank you.
Any other questions for Mr. Poisson? Thank you, Mr. Poisson,
Thank
for
you.
everything. Appreciate it. Do I have a motion to adjourn? Moved by Mr. Harding, second myself. Any public comments? Mr. Harding? No. No, that's not at this time. I mean, we don't have that on this meeting, but thank you. Yeah, appreciate you guys coming, though. Yeah. Okay. All right, so, any objections for adjournment? None here, none heard, so